رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. السلام. So today we'll take a look at who actually wrote the Ayatul Kursi, verse 255 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Which person in history actually wrote this? So to judge that, we'll take a look at two linguistic structures of this verse. The first structure is we'll compare 9 sentences within this verse. So the first sentence is Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except Him, the ever living, all sustaining. This was the first sentence, and then let's look at the last sentence of this verse, which is wa huwa al-aliyyul azim, for He is the most high, the greatest. So in the first sentence we have two descriptions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-hayy and al-qayyum, and in the last sentence we have two descriptions, al-ali and al-azim. Let's look at the second sentence from the beginning. لا تأخذه سِنَةٌ ولا نوم. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes him. And then the second sentence from the end is ولا يؤوده حفظهما. And the preservation of both does not tire him. That is the heavens and the earth. So in both the second sentence from the beginning and the second sentence from the end, both talk about Allah not tiring. Then let's look at the third sentence from the beginning, which is له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. And then let's look at the third sentence from the end. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض. His seat encompasses the heavens and the earth. So both third sentence from the beginning and the third sentence from the end talk about the heavens and the earth. Then let's talk about the fourth sentence from the beginning. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. Who could possibly intercede with Him without His permission? And the fourth sentence from the end, ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. But no one can grasp any of His knowledge except what He wills to reveal. That is, from the beginning, no one can intercede except with His permission. And this was the fourth sentence from the beginning and the fourth sentence from the end. No one can grasp anything from His knowledge except what He wills. And of course, intercession is when someone intercedes by claiming that he knows something. It's about his knowledge, and the exceptions too, which are being made in both these sentences. So these were the first sentence and the last sentence, the second sentence and the second last sentence, third sentence, the third last sentence, fourth sentence and the fourth last sentence. Now what's the fifth sentence? Right in the middle. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. This is the fifth sentence from the beginning and the end. He fully knows what is ahead of them and what is behind them. Subhanallah. First of all, it means what it means. Allah knows what's ahead of us and behind us, but it's also linguistic play, which means Allah knows the sentences which are ahead of this sentence and the sentences which are before. And subhanallah, how they match. This was the first structure. Let's look at another structure of this surah, which is the structure of positives and negatives, yeses and nos, and what is and what is not. For example, we want to define something, we say this thing has these properties and it doesn't have these properties. So now we'll look at it from this point, positive and negative. So let's begin. Allahu la ilaha illahu. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except Him. So this is in the negative, no God worthy of worship except Him, al-hayyul qayyum. Now it comes to the positive, the ever living, the sustaining. Now again it goes back to the negative. لا تأخذه سِنَةٌ ولا نوم. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes Him. This is in the negative. This is not what Allah has. Then it goes back to the positive too. يَعْلَمْ لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. This was the positive. Now he goes back to the negative. Who could possibly intercede with Him without His permission? مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَشْفَعُ عِنْدَهُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. So no one can intercede except with His permission. Then he goes back to the positive. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. He fully knows what is ahead of them and what is behind them. Then he goes back to the negative. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. But no one can grasp any of His knowledge except what He wills. This was the negative. Then he goes back to the positive. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Now what is the positive about Him? His seat encompasses the heavens and the earth. Then he goes back to the negative, and وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. The preservation of both does not tire Him. Subhanallah, it's in the negative. Then goes back to the positive. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. He is the most high, the greatest. Subhanallah. Negative, positive. What He has, what He doesn't have. What He has, what He doesn't have. Who speaks like this? that he matches the first and the last, second, the second last, third last, and at the same time gives a consistent theme of positive negatives, and then at the same time gives a consistent message and a powerful message. And God knows how many other things, numerical, scientific, God knows how many other miracles are hidden within it, which we haven't so far discovered. Can you tell me anyone in the entire history of humanity who can possibly speak like this and remembers all the structures of his sentence? And then the Quran and this verse, which was revealed 1400 years ago, in the last 100 years, 200 years, 300, 1400 years, there is no additions made to it, nothing chopping and changing, nothing changed at all. And yet the structure is so beautiful, and both these structures at the same time. Can you tell me, the question I ask you in the end is, can you tell me anyone in the history who could possibly come up with such beautiful structures and at the same time give such a beautiful message? With that, I'll end this session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.